Hello everyone, it's Kathy Champion and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Gastonia, North Carolina, and I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. We are actually going to do some things with our paper pumpkin. Now these are the cards that they suggested, and I did change these up a little bit. I put instead of putting the bow under the little sentiment, I decided to put the bow up here so it looks like it's tied onto the mailbox. That was one of the things that I did different, and I did put dimensionals behind this piece. And then with this one, I kind of offset it. I turned it just a little bit, and I put my bow up here rather than wrapping the bow around. So that was just a little bit of a difference that I made with those, but this is very much like they suggest for you to make them out of the catalog. So, and of course, here's our little flyer that shows this, and as you can see the little bit of difference that I did. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. So what we're going to do today, here is an alternative card that I worked on earlier. And this card has a bow, and I tied this around, but this slides off, and it also holds your card together. And we're going to do another one similar to this, but maybe a little different. And what I did is I made this little card, and this was just a piece that was cut 2.5, so it would be 5. Let me measure to make sure I'm telling you right. And this was just a piece of white, and this measures 5 by 2.5, and I scored it at 2.5, and that just gave me a little square. And what I did is I took apart one of my envelopes, and I used it for these accent pieces, and for this little piece in here I used the Hi Valentine Be Mine. I put love with hugs and kisses on the heart. And then I put a little piece in here where you can sign your card, sending love your way. I stamped a background paper here, and I just used black ink with the petal pink, and I accented it with a little bit of the Poppy Parade. And then this is the piece that I actually cut off of here, and I bound it in just by scoring in 1/2 inch, and I put that under here to kind of have a little bit of a closure like that for the card. And I just thought it was a little different and kind of cute. And of course, like I said, I tied my bow, and this will go around here. You might have to turn that up just a little bit like that, but then you can slide your bow back over. And this bow just kind of, it acts as decoration as well as a closure. And I just thought it was cute to put a little piece of ribbon and make it functional as well. So then that ties like that. I thought it was just really cute. So we're going to do something very similar to that, but I'm going to show you what we're going to use. I have one of the other card bases in the other color, and this is Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to go ahead and fold this and crease it. Now we're going to cut 2 inches off of this piece, and I'm going to go ahead and start this card the same way I did the other one. We might not continue with it that way, but we're going to start. So I'm just going to bring my card to 2 inches, and we're going to cut, and that will give us this piece like this. And then I need to decide if I want as much on the front of this one as I did the other one. I don't think I do, but I do want to use this as a flap. So we are going to score this first at 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and score. It doesn't matter which end you do it on. So I'm going to score it right there at 1/2 inch, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and crease that and get that down really good. And then this piece is going to fit on here, but I thought we would try it on for size, and I want to cut it off about to here. So I'm going to measure. I'm just going to take my ruler, and I think I'm going to take it to 3 inches. I think 3 inches will be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in right here, And I want to cut that, let's see, I'm going to cut it right here to 3 inches. So I've got my folded side to the left, and I'm lining that up on my 3-inch mark, and then I'm just going to slice it right there. And then we still got this cute little piece that we can use for decoration somewhere else. Now this piece we're going to adhere right here about halfway. And if you want to measure and get your little halfway point, you can do that. Very simple. I like to use this ruler. We know that this is 5.5. So 2 3/4 will be our halfway mark. So 2 3/4. I'm just going to put just a little pencil, a little tick mark right there. Another way that you can do it, if you've got one of these rulers, you can bring it in like this. And as long as you know you're getting it evened up like that, then you know that that's your, so 2 3/4 and 2 3/4, then you know that's your halfway mark. So I'm just going to put a tiny little tick mark right there, just to let me know that that's halfway. And when I get ready to put this down, I can just center this up over top of that and put that down. But before we do that, let's go ahead and let's stamp our piece of cardstock. And we're just going to basically do I'm going to get a little piece of paper to put under there so we don't make a mess on our desk. And this is just a little grid paper that I use in my Stamparatus. So what I did with my stamps, these are all of the stamps that came on this piece. This is the stamp set. And what I did is as I used them, I laid them out on a larger block. And then I can just peel them off of here and use them where I need them. And I think that that's just a really neat way of doing this. So I'm going to use my Poppy Parade, and I'm not using the ink spot that came with the kit. I'm going to go ahead and just use my large ink pad. And the reason for that, I'm saving all of my ink spots until I get a complete set of them. So just one of those little idiosyncrasies of mine. But nevertheless, I want to stamp very randomly on this cardstock. And I want to use the love, the X's and O's. So here's my love. So I'm going to load that up on a stamp block. And I think I might start with that first. And then I've got these other little hearts and stars that are so cute. We're going to fill in between with that, and also with the hugs and kisses. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on a block. And let's see, this one right here I think will fit on this block. I just like to load them up and have them ready, so when I get ready to stamp I can just go to town. So I think the first thing I want to do is not the Poppy Parade, but I want to do the Memento Black. And this is a Tuxedo Black. I'm going to close this back up. I was thinking I was going to start with that, but I think I want to start with the Love in a nice rich black. So we're going to do this, and as we do this we're going to turn our paper. As you turn your paper, you're going to be putting your stamp down in different areas. So and we're going to kind of do it on and off. And we're going to turn it and go there, and turn it and go here, and turn it and go here. And then we're going to stamp maybe here. And you want to make sure you ink up good each time, and maybe there. And of course I'm going to get my fingers in my ink. That never fails. And maybe one here. I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to work my way back up. Maybe like that. Like that. Doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, even with pattern paper, things are never always perfect. They're just kind of randomly stamped, and that's what we're doing. We're just going to randomly stamp all over this piece of cardstock, turning your paper as you go. I should have put my Stampin' Pierce mat over here, but I didn't. That's okay. If you ink up pretty good, and I didn't get that one real good, I wonder if we can go back in. Let's see if how good I can do this. Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm afraid I'll mess it up. Yeah, I'm chicken. I'm going to put that one down right there. And now we're going to fill in with, I'm going to use my paper just to clean my stamp off a little bit before I take it to my cleaner. And let's go ahead now and grab this red, the Poppy Parade. And I'm going to come back in between, and we're going to do these little hearts and stars. This would be a great accent to the red, to the black. And I'm just such a fan of the red, white, and black. I think it's so pretty. And we're just going to strategically get these stamped in between, like so. Again, you want to turn your paper so that you get your little pieces going in different directions all through here. Let's see, this is a good spot for one. And you want some on the edges as well, like that. Maybe right there. Maybe here. Let's see if we can get one right in there. That looks cute. I'm going to do right here off the edge. I think that's plenty. We're going to come back in with the X's and O's and put that down here and yonder. So I think that looks really good. I'm going to set that over there. These are the ones I know I need to clean. So I'm going to do this one, but with the X's and O's, I'm going to stamp on my ink pad and then stamp off. Oops, I don't think I got that nice and inked. I'll stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on. Because I don't want it to be that vibrant color. I want this to look a little different than my hearts and my stars. So stamp off, and then stamp on. And just put down a few of those here and there. And that just kind of gives you another tone of color of ink that can look very pretty in here. I think we can get one right in there. And stamp off. And maybe right there. Like I said, you want some coming on and off. And maybe right here. And I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we can do... No, I don't want it to be an overkill. I think that looks really good, so I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to kind of clean that off just a little bit and lay that over here with our used stamps. Close up this red ink so I don't get my hands in it. Alright, I'm going to move that paper out of the way. So we've got this piece now that we're going to actually put down inside of our card. But before we do that, let me bring my silicone craft sheet over, and I want to put some Stampin' Seal, or do I want to use glue? I think I might use liquid glue, and I'll tell you why. That gives me a little bit more wiggle room to get this positioned exactly where I want it. So a little liquid glue, and then we can bring this over, and I'm going to line this up, and then just look at my fingers, I got ink all over me. I'm going to line this up so that it's right on the edge and right in the middle, and I'm just going to fold that over. And look, I did get red ink on that. I knew that I would because I've got it all over my fingers. So let me see if I can clean my fingers off. And I'm just going to do that with a little rubbing alcohol. I think that will probably cut that ink off pretty well. And I'm just using my little microfiber towel, and see, that takes the ink off your fingers pretty well. And because I don't want to get that all over my card. And that's just a good thing. I keep rubbing alcohol in my craft room just for that reason, and to clean my tools. I'm going to do a video on cleaning my tools and everything one day, because I keep mentioning it. Alright, we are going to cover this up so we don't have to worry about that. So let's bring in our piece, and see what I mean? That's going to go right there, just like that. And then that's going to come over, and we're going to do some decorative something right there. So we want to make that look really pretty. I don't think I'm going to go as complex as I did with the other one, but I do want to make a closure, and I've got an idea of what I want to do. So we'll get to that. I am going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this, and I think for this I am going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm just going to use some little pieces like that along each side, top and bottom. This stuff is super strong, so it doesn't take but a little bit, which is one of the really wonderful things about it. You might want to check your image if you did run over or off the edge, which I don't think I did, but if you do, just fold that back onto itself like you would your tear and tape. It works the same way. It just will fold back onto itself, and it doesn't make a mess that way. So I'm going to pull that over just a hair, just like that, and press that down. Okay, let me move that mat out of my way because I want to decide. I'm going to show you something else that I do. I use my envelopes, and I'm going to show you, and I think you've seen me do this before, if not me, probably some other demonstrators. But when I get these envelopes and I need the color, sometimes they have a lining on the inside, and I might need that. I take my envelope and I turn it with the straight edge all the way up to the top, and I just line it up so that I barely catch the edge of it. And I'm going to push up with my cut blade, and I just cut off that tiny little bit. And now I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing, but this time I'm going to bring it down to the bottom of my trimmer because I can cut both directions, and I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to slice that off. And that just cuts off the tiniest little bit, enough that we can open that up and give us a nice big space to use. Now I'm going to bring it over to here, and I'm going to cut just past that score line, so the score line is to the left. Oops, wrong blade. And see what I mean? This piece I can use for a die cut because it didn't have really enough of straight edges. But this piece right here will give me a nice straight edge where we can use this for a mat. We could cut it and use it for a strip. And we also have this piece that would be good for a strip or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and even this up while I've got my trimmer out. I want a nice straight edge on that. So just cut that little bit off. Then you've got a nice straight edge on here. And you can also cut this into strips if you wanted it. But I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, so I'm going to hang on to it. And now I do need another piece of white. And I've got this white cardstock. And I think what I want to do with this is I want to cut myself a 2-inch, let's see, how big is this? This is going to be about 2.5. So I need at least a 2.5 by 5. So let's do 2.5. by 5, and let's score it at 2.5. So 2.5, and now we have that little card that we can use on the front. And this time I think I'm going to put the card here rather than all the way over here. I wanted to do it just a little bit different We could open the card this way, but I think I like it like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp that beautiful heart image on the front of this. So let's pull our heart back over, and I think our heart is going to fit. Let's do it kind of like this. I think that'd be cute. Or, you know, since I did a heart on that one, I think I'm going to do that same little thing that I did on the inside of this one, where I said, Hi Valentine. That would be super cute. And we're going to cut a piece of this to mat on this, and then another little piece of this to go over. So we know that this is 2 and, let me take my measurements again, I think it's 2.5. Yep, so we need a piece off of here that is 2 1/4. So I'm just going to put that in like so and slice. And then I'm going to slice these little edges off of here. We don't need those. I'm going to slice this side down as well, so I have a nice straight edge. And then I'm going to get myself a 2 1/4, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and this is going to make a pretty mat to go in the front of this, just like that. Isn't that cute? I'm going to turn it like that. Now we need a 2-inch piece. Let's see if we can get 2 inches out of this. Yep, I believe we can. So we're going to put that right there and trim. That was just about right to start with. And then let's get it to this way. And now we have our little piece that we're going to actually stamp our image on. I had little shavings of paper inside my trimmer. Alright, so I want to do the snail. And I'm going to put him down right about there. And I want to do the Hi Valentine, maybe right there. Or maybe we'll do him up here. And then we can do this here. I wanted to change it up just a hair. I thought it would be nice if we added just a little bit of difference to it. And let's see. These stamps look like they will go together right like that. Or how about if we just do Hi Valentine? Yeah, we're going to do that like that. So I'm going to start off with this one. And let me clean my stamp block, because this one is really ugly. I got ink everywhere. So we're going to start this one down really good. And I've got cleaner already on my Stampin' Scrub. Now remember that these stamps are photopolymer, and the photopolymer stamps do take the ink, so they stain. But that is a clean stamp. That's not, it doesn't have ink on it, although my fingers do. I'm going to grab my alcohol again and see if I can clean my fingers again. Maybe a little better this time. And I'm going to peel these off this block. You know what, while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and clean these other ones as well. Now using this red pigment ink, and just for anybody that has a Stampin' Scrub, after you use your Stampin' Scrub to clean red or any of your dark pigment colors, you'll want to go take this to your sink and clean it, because you will pick up red ink off of it. So this will go to the sink as soon as I finish with my video, and I will clean this up and it'll be ready for the next go round. Alright, so I'm going to put my little snail on that stamp block. I'm going to clean this one while I'm here. And that one's ready to go back on the block. So we'll put that right there. And you can see the ones I've used in the darker inks. They are stained rather well. That's okay. I'm going to bring this over, and I think I'm going to bring my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I am going to stamp this in my Memento Tuxedo Black. And the reason I'm using that is because I am going to use Stampin' Blends to color my little snail. So I'm going to ink him up really good. Make sure I got a good... And we are going to stamp him up here. Very cute. I'm going to bring this back over and just like to use that my scrap paper to do that with, so that it takes off some of that ink. So we're going to do Hi Valentine, and I think this one I might do in the red ink. I think that'll be, I don't know, I like it in this dark vibrant ink. And we're going to have red on him. His little heart that he's carrying in the back is going to be a beautiful red. So let's bring that about to there. Stamp it. Love it. And let's do this again. That one's ready to be cleaned. And our little snail is ready to be cleaned. And one more. I want to see if I can get Be Mine on here. And maybe... No, I don't think so. I think this is going to be sufficient. So, let's go ahead and color our little snail, and I am going to use the I think I'm going to use the petal pink, the light petal pink for his body, and I am going to take that out because I don't want to bring that back over to protect my surface. So I'm just going to go in here, and these are really super easy to color because, I mean, it's just coloring. You just want to put down some ink and get that colored really good, just like that. And I am going to come back in with the dark petal pink. And I'm going to do a tiny bit of shading. I think he would be a little darker right around here, where he's carrying his little heart on his back. And maybe right through here. So cute. And then I'm going to get the light real red. Or do I want to use Poppy Parade? Let's do the Poppy Parade so everything matches. There's my light and my dark. So I'm going to go in with my light first. And when you're using the darker inks, be careful going too close to the edges because this ink will spread. Okay, that's my light. So let's go in now with the dark. And I want to really accent this heart that's in the middle, because I want him to be, this little heart to be darker. And around the edges just a tiny bit. I'm going to go back in with the lighter one. I'm going to actually fan that just a little bit to kind of get it to dry a little. And then we're going to do that just to blend it. Isn't that so cute? Now this is going to go on the front of our card right there. So I am going to use some Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to let's put this on first. So a little bit there, there, and there. And I'm going to bring this to the edge, making sure I'm getting my little border all the way around, just like that. And then I'm going to put the whole thing on here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I finally got where I'm not calling it Press and Seal anymore. Oh my goodness. That was, I had quite a time with that. Alright, I'm going to line this up just like this and press it. One other thing, and I told my friend today that I don't know why, but I love to give my little snail some blue eyes. Maybe it's because my eyes are blue, but I just feel like he needs a little color in his eyes. It kind of makes him look more alive. So a little bit of color on his eyeballs, and we can also stamp a message inside of here because we have got the ability to do that. So I think I'm going to make this the card that we actually sign. So I'm going to use this Sending Love Your Way, and let's pick this up on a block. And for this one, I think to carry through with everything else, I'm going to use the black ink. And I'm just going to load up some black ink on this. Let's stamp it over there. Looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to come in and kind of to the top a little bit. I'm just going to go, giving myself room enough to sign. Very, very pretty. Okay, so we got that done. I'm just going to do that so I can clean those stamps in a little bit. The other thing that I would love to do is this this stamp right here came out of, and I have the stamp set, here it is. I pulled this out because it's these little dots right there, and that's the stamp. And I want to put just some little accent dots here and there, and maybe on the front of this. So I'm going to grab that Poppy Parade again. I'm a stickler for punishment. I'm going back into the red ink again, and I'm going to move that over there. Let's do a couple of them right here. Make sure that they're like I want them, and they are. And I'm going to do maybe here, and maybe here. And I'm going to do the little random hearts as well. So let's pull this off. I'm going to put him back there. I'm going to pick these up again. And I'm going to stamp these. Let's turn them this way. I think we got a little bit more room to work with them. Like that. Oh, that looks cute. I like that. And I'm going to do the same thing in here. I think what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to stamp them across the top. Just one grouping right there. and then the little dots and dots. So cute. Okay, I think we're done with that. And again, I'm gonna just rip this off. And the same with this. Move that out of my way. And now this is ready to adhere onto our little flap. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've got adhesive all the way across the middle of this card. And I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal. Just like that. And what I want to do is make sure that I'm getting it all the way to the edge and press it down. Oh, I love this card, and look at that. Just another different way that you can do your card. Now we're not done because I want to do something back here. I'm not going to leave that plain like that. So we're going to put maybe, let's see what other pieces I've got over here that I have cut. Here's a nice little piece. Let's go ahead and cut this to fit across the back. I think what I want to do is I want to cut it to fit. So if you ever need something to fit behind something, bring it up like that and use your pencil. Your best friend in your craft room is your pencil. And I'm going to make sure I got lead out, and I'm going to draw a line and a line and a line. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to draw a line there, one here, and across here. Now I know, because I can see my lines, where I need to cut to make that work. And I'm going to bring out my trimmer, because I am going to trim it with the trimmer. That way I know that I can get nice straight lines. And I'm looking up into the track of my trimmer right there, and I'm going to cut all the way down, then I'm going to cut up and over. Move that stamp out of my way. Okay, we got that cut. And I'm going to go over to this side, and I'm going to cut this edge, lining it up in the track, cut straight down. And now I'm going to take my scissors and my little paper snips, and I am just going to snip this out. And how simple is that? That's just as easy peasy as it gets. Just like this. Alright, so now we have this piece to cover up our workings back here. So now we can glue this in, and that's going to cover up everything back here. Might need to take just a hair back off of this little piece right here, just ever so slightly. There we go. It looked like it wanted to ravel a little bit, so let's grab our, I know I got shears here somewhere. Boy, if y'all could see the mess that I've got around me. But you know what? This is just fun. This is just such a fun card to make. I love doing the little fun folds and come up with new ideas on how to do these. I think they're super cute. So, let's see. You know what we could do? We could just glue this completely down. We wouldn't even need a piece back here. If we glue this down, because we can see our words, why not? And then we would just have this fun little fold here that would open. I'm going to do it. I like that idea. And we don't have to worry about the fixing, so we can just put glue and glue. Look at the back of this. Close that down. Close that down. You can sit a stamp block or something on it just to hold it. And that card is done. And of course it didn't go at all like I had planned it in my head, but you know what? That's what happens with me. Anytime that I'm creating, I have a tendency to just kind of wing it. But I love that. I think it's so cute. And now when you give this card, it'll be just that simple. Isn't that cute? And different. So it does look different. We are going to do a bow though, because I think every card needs a bow. And we got that beautiful satin black ribbon somewhere here. Oh, right here in front of me. You know, if I pick up some of this stuff, I wouldn't have quite as much going on here. So let's get my liquid glue covered up. Move my snips and this. And I am going to do the little bunny ear bow. So I'm going to do a little bunny ear and another bunny ear. Just like that. Once you get your two little bunny ears, and one might be bigger than the other one, I cross them and then I pull the loop through the bottom. Oops, that didn't work. Maybe I need to, I try to save my ribbon and not make the loops so big, but I think I need a bigger loops. Let's try that. Loop it over, pull it through, and tighten it down. Just like that. Then you can turn it around and you can adjust your loops and adjust your little loops coming this way. This ribbon is so forgiving. And once you get it like you want it, you can pull that to tighten it. And you still have the ability to adjust those loops. And I think that looks just fine like that. So I'm going to tighten it down, and then I'm going to snip it off. And I like to cut mine pretty even with the loop on the bow, but at an angle. So I just kind of look at where my loop is, and then I just do an angle cut. And I'm going to use a glue dot to put this down, and I may just put this bow right here on this. How cute is that? Oh, I like it right here. I think it looks cute with the little snail. So I'm going to get, do I want to do a glue dot or do I want to do the adhesives that came in the kit? The adhesives that came in the kit, I didn't use any dimensionals on this card, which is unusual for me. And here's my dimension, my little, the little glue dots that come in your paper pumpkin. So I think I'm going to use one of these to put that on with. So I'm going to get that off and put it right, oops. We're going to put it right there in that corner. And I'm going to peel the backer off of it. There we go. Just had to slide it off a little bit, and there is a glue dot right there because it's sticky. And I am going to press my bow right into that little glue dot, just like that. And then that will hold my bow in place. think I want to trim the tails just a little bit more. Just like that. And we have 4 cards out of our little paper pumpkin kit, and that was one of two of my alternatives to the kit, and I did one in each color. And of course we have the way they were planned to be, maybe with just a hint of difference. But there's my paper pumpkin cards. So let's see if we can lay them like this. And let's see if we can zoom in so you can see all of the lovelies. And let's straighten my ribbon up on this one so it will lay flat. And it will lay flat. I think it's where I have peeled it off and back on several times. But when your recipient gets this in the mail, it will not be twisted. It will be laying nice and flat. Okay, well, let's turn it and twist it. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, I think that looks much better. So there's our cards. There's 4 cards, 2 made the way that Paper Pumpkin suggested, and 2 that are totally different, but just the same. They're cute. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on alternative Paper Pumpkin. If you're interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, I'll have a link in this video description below where you can click on it, and that will take you to my Paper Pumpkin site, and you can sign up. You can subscribe month to month. You can set it up for a 3-month subscription, a 6-month subscription, or a year. You do get a bit of a discount if you subscribe for a longer period of time, and it also can qualify you for if you buy it, you know, in advance like that, you will qualify for celebration rewards. So just remember that if you spend $50 in your subscription, you'll get a free celebration item. So that's always a plus. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed making these cards and bring them to you, and I hope that you would go and subscribe to your Paper Pumpkin and get that little bit of surprise every month in the mail. Next month's kit is actually it goes through the 10th of February, so now's the time to sign up to get the kit for February. And it's beautiful. I have seen pictures of it, and I don't know if it was on this flyer. No, I don't think it was on this one. If you go to my website and click Paper Pumpkin, you'll see the promo for the next month's kit. It is beautiful, florals, loving, caring cards that you can send to your family and friends. So until we craft again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Give me a thumbs up, which is a like on this video, and share it with friends. If you have friends that like to paper craft, share my video. Even if you don't, if you share my video out on your Facebook page, it helps me grow my channel. So thank you so much again. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven, because He is so worthy of all of our honor and our praise. And until we craft again, God bless. Bye-bye.